Hello everyone and welcome back to Pretties. We are here tonight to do the August challenge, which is hashtag make it with me. And we are up to, I believe, day 11, rosette making. Now I'm not going to show you how I do the cupcake liner ones because I have shown that like probably 10, 15 times. But I'm going to bring you down to the desk. I am going to show you how I do a couple other designs of rosettes without dies. So we're going to come on down, there we are. So this is crepe paper. It's the streamer kind like this. And I'm going to show you how to do a single layer rosette like this first. So you'll need this, and you'll need a lovely stapler guy, and probably a 1-inch circle hole punch, and some hot glue. Alright, so, let's see if I can do this so you can see me. Maybe I gotta bring you up a hair. Okay, let's see, maybe? Yeah. Alright, so you start by putting your, at least I start this way, I put my thumb here, and I hold this first piece between my thumb and my forefinger. And then I'm going to bring this over and almost overlap it over my thumb. And then I'm going to press it down into this other piece like this. So basically you're making almost like a pleat. And you keep going and trying to make it nice and even. You don't want it to be too wonky. Or maybe you do, depending on what you're making the rosette for. But you just keep going around in a circle. Don't stay focused and straight up, because if you do, it's not going to be a rosette. And see, as you can see, it's starting to take a shape. Now, the trick with this is most of us can only hold so much before our hand starts going a little funny and our rosette starts looking a little weird. Well, instead of letting your rosette get that way, here's where your stapler comes in. Make sure you have staples in it. Oftentimes, I don't. So you put it in there, bam, staple down. All right. So, okay, I missed my piece here, but that's all right because I can get it here in a few. But you have your staple on, okay, and that'll hold that much of it together. So now you want to keep going around, all the way around, just pleating, making those pleats, trying to keep them a little bit crisp. Sometimes mine aren't the crispest. Crisp? Wow, I think I butchered that word. They're not the crispest. But I do try pretty hard to get them that way. All right, when you get all the way around, you may have some left over. That is okay. Don't freak out. We are now going to go back in here, try to get all this underneath of our nice little stapler, and then staple again. Okay, and I did get the corner of that. It's not perfect, but the rest of what I have to do will fix that. So you're going to move your stapler out of the way now. You have this piece here, and all you're going to do is come up in here gently. Boom, that piece is gone now. All right, now I'm going to show you how to fix the rest of it so that you don't have that ugly stapler hanging out, because that's ugly. So you punch yourself 2 circles from your 1-inch circle punch. This is part of it. Let me see. Yes, he's ready. Awesome. All right, but we do need another friend. So let me get my glue stick at least started there. And I like to start with the back because, excuse me, because the back is kind of where it holds it together. And I put a good amount of hot glue, and we're going to come back here, making sure to press down, and then we're going to press this right over where we stapled, and preferably don't hot glue yourself to it, like I just did. But this is one of the supposedly easier ways to make a rosette. I'm going to be honest with you, when I first was learning, this was not an easy way. It really wasn't, okay? It really gave me a little bit of a headache. And if you're worried about this sticking up, just put a little touch of hot glue there, and there you go. Now it's no longer sticking up. All right, up here, to do the same thing so that this piece isn't sticking up, just take a little hot glue right there and tack it right down. Boom. Okay, now we're going to go to our piece here. We're going to put some hot glue on there, find our staple, and press. And the hot glue is hot. That's why you keep seeing me change fingers. Ah. And of course that piece stuck to me. Again. Joy. Okay, but anyway, that being said, let me put that guy back over there. We now have one rosette created out of the crepe paper, and that's a single layer rosette. Sometimes I make double layer rosettes too. But we're going to lay this guy aside. He's beautiful. He looks lovely. We'll put him over there. We're going to move our scissors now, because now we have to get a different fellow. And this kind of depends on what scoreboard you use. It's up to you. Whatever your favorite scoreboard is, go for it. I just pulled one of my scoreboards. I didn't even pay attention because I have a couple. One's a little easier for me to read than the other one. Let me get my stapler put back so it's out of my way. And I'm going to move this guy. Okay. This should give us a fair amount of room for you to see what I'm going to do. And I've got enough here to make two. Come out of there. Thank you. All right. So, as you can see, it's a scoreboard, and I took a piece of 12 by 12 paper. Now, mine is almost too long for this. So what I tend to do is put this corner in first, because that's where you're going to start. And then we're going to get our bone folder. I'm going to try to turn this so you can see better. I don't know if I'll see better, but we'll see. Okay, let me turn you this way. Okay, so you depend on your scores depend on how big you want your fold. I don't like really big folds. Really big folds mean a lot of thickness. I prefer a smaller fold, so we're going to go 1. We're going to come over, we're going to go 2. And that's about as big as I'll ever make mine. I really don't like to make them any bigger. 3, 4, 5, 6, and it is honestly just like counting. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you're going every inch, basically. Okay, I'm getting closer to the end. I'm going to move this down and put my last one on a score right there so that I can start again. Okay, so there's all my score lines. I'm going to pull this off to the side a minute. Put my tool back in here. And this is how you would do both of these. Now, the next step is, sorry, I got to move you a little bit and bring you up a hair. Okay, so the next step is, and I don't know, you probably can't see the score lines very well, but there's the score lines. So what you do is do like a hill and valley. If you start at one end one way, the other end should end a different way. So we go down, then up, then down. Boy, that score didn't want to fold. Okay, down. And sometimes these get a little wonky, and sometimes they're right on. That's kind of just the way that ends up sometimes. But that's what you keep doing. You hill and valley all the way across from one end to the other. Ooh, okay, that one was a little wonky. And I press on mine a bit just to make sure that it's actually taking the fold. Because sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. And I am actually using cardstock paper, so this guy's going to be a little thicker. And that fold looks wonky to me. All right, and then down, then up. Okay. And we're getting there. Like I said, I used a kind of long piece because I wanted to try to make sure I had enough paper for it to come out nice. Because you can have too much and you can have too little. The key is to know what size, basically, of rosette you want to make. Okay, down, up, and then this guy goes down. All right, now we have it folded, and I'm just gonna hold it for a second. Then it's gonna come out, and it's gonna kind of look like an accordion there. All right, let me bring him down a little bit better now, and I'm gonna show you how I do this one. Let me move that guy over there so we hopefully don't have it in frame too much. And again, you're gonna need 2 of your 1-inch circles. And I am going to use my little finger cover for this because, yes, this is where it can burn. Okay, so we're going to flip it over on its back side. We're going to find this end, excuse me, wow, allergies are kicking my tush. We're going to put some glue. I'm just going to lay my gun there. And then we are going to pull the other side up, hopefully, and get it to connect. And like I said, this is where you can end up burning your fingers because the hot glue tends to go wherever it wants to go, not necessarily where you want it to go. All right, okay, that's in there. All right, now our next step, and I'm gonna move one of those aside because this could get ugly. I'm actually going to, no, I'll stay over here. Let me see, do I have, no, I don't, okay. I thought I had a little mat I could put here that was no stick, basically. All right, so I'm gonna put a bit of glue on this, and I may have to add more because I don't want to put too much that it squirts out and goes everywhere. Now, the idea with this is we put this over our piece here. We start bringing in all of our edges. And, okay, this one's going to fight with me. Of course it is because I'm on camera. Anyway, you bring in all your edges to the center, like so. But while you're doing that, the outside of it, and when it works and isn't being all paint, but I figured this one would be a pain tonight because I wanted to do this. Okay, now maybe we're going to get somewhere, maybe, if I can get it to push down right. Okay, come on. Come on. There we go. Now we're getting there. All right, so you end up folding it like that, creasing it, and then you're to put it down on your, oh, I don't think my background stayed. Oh, boy. Okay. No, I don't think it did. All right, so this is a little harder, as you can see. It actually is a bit harder. Let's try this. Let me try bringing it up like that. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to... Ooh, maybe. Okay, there we go. Now we got some hot glue going again. Okay. I'm going to re-glue where I had glued. And then I'm going to hold this together, hopefully. Flip this over, placing it in the center and pressing down. Now, this should hold the back side. Now, you're still going to have to put glue on the front side, too. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay. Now that we have our back side, we need to put one on the front side to hold this center as well. Now, you don't have to make yours 1 inch. You can do smaller if you feel comfortable. I kind of tend to like the 1 inch ones because it covers the hole that it leaves, and it gives me some room to work. Okay, so there is how that one turns out. And some of your creases may be bigger than others. That's okay, because this one where you put it together always looks a little weird. And then what you would do is just decorate it however you see fit to decorate it. But there is a rosette out of the regular paper. And yeah, you can see some of my uglies on the back. But I'll fix that. So there's 2 different other kinds of rosettes other than the cupcake liner rosettes. And like I said, this one actually has become harder for me than doing the crepe paper. But as you can see, both are quite usable. Both are quite lovely. And I have been known, when I had the right colors, of course, to layer them up. So there are the rosettes. And of course, you can do it any color. You could add any decorations. It's really your flavor. I actually made some of these kind into Christmas tree ornaments with wood pieces and tulle and string. And they are still holding together, believe it or not. So that is our rosettes. And let me get my glue gun out of the way here. There we are. And they're not necessarily hard to make. Now, there are dies for some rosettes that I know of. Tim Holtz has one that makes a bit smaller than this. I believe Scrap Diva may have one. I know there were some on AliExpress back when I used to order through them. I think you can get them at Temu, probably Amazon. You just would look up rosette die, and then I'm sure whatever they have available would come up. But that is how that goes, and I mean you can put anything on them you want to. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that maybe it showed you a little something. You don't have to have a great big scoreboard to do it. If you have one of the little ones, you can still do it. I just happen to have that big guy. I don't have a little scoreboard. So, anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful day in the world wherever you're at. I hope that you got to enjoy some of the time in that wonderful day being outside. And I hope that you were happy and smiled. And of course, do smile because it makes people wonder what you're up to. Hug someone, anyone, everyone. It's good for you, it's good for them, it's medically proven. And then, of course, above all, and most importantly, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. And if you can't fake it till you make it, instead of adding more negativity into the world. Thank you again for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. And I hope to talk with you again soon. Bye-bye.